against.
All right, let's start seated. If you have access to a wall, sit up against it. And you'll sit with something under your bum, whether it's a block, a blanket, a combination of these things. Ugh. I feel like I have to recalibrate the sitting every time because my props end up getting used as toys, so the ones I get used to change. So sometimes that's a good thing though, right? We get a little stuck in what we're familiar with and then need something different. So if you're sitting and discovering that it's not comfortable the way you expected it to be comfortable, change it. And keep fussing until you find the seat you want. And then lean your head back into the wall and take a breath in and a breath out. If you're sitting and you're feeling your shoulders are pushing your head away from the wall, this is a common thing lately, especially with being in front of computers or screens a lot. So what we're going to play with at the wall right now is bringing the head back and trying to lift the head up. So you get this feedback with the head against the wall. And it's tempting to sort of tilt your head back and look up, but instead, press the back of your head into the wall and try to lift up towards the ceiling so the top of your head can reach up. And take a breath in. And with your exhale, release the press for a moment and let yourself settle back down. All right. If y'all ever have questions, feel free to throw them in the chat or just speak out loud. But we'll be here. Take a breath in. This time as you exhale, try to press your shoulder blades into the wall first. Yeah. And notice if that changes what's happening in the back of your head. So when you press your shoulder blades into the wall, sometimes you get this sense of buoyancy where your head kind of pops forward. From that sense of rooting back, now try to lengthen your head up. Breathe in. And with your exhale, release any activation. We'll do that again. So take a deep breath in. With your exhale, press the shoulder blades back into the wall. And you might notice that they start to slide down. That's great. But reach your head up. Breathe in. And with your exhale, release. All right. Find a really gentle press of the back of the head into the wall. Take your hands by your sides and roll. I think of it as rolling because I usually do this on the floor. But if you turn your palms forward and then press the backs of your hands into the wall. Now I can see that some of you have let your chin pull forward and up. Draw your chin back as if your chin were also trying to come towards the wall. It's not going to get there obviously, but try to create a little length by hugging your chin in towards your neck. Cool. Take a breath in. And with your exhale, release the arms and notice the change. Breath in and breath out. All right. One more time. So we'll do this again. Gently press the back of your head into the wall, keeping your chin hugged in. Breathe in. And with your exhale, bring the backs of your hands out and press them into the wall. And you might notice that pressing the backs of your hands into the wall does stuff to your shoulders. This is kind of the idea. So observe that. You can feel the shoulders against the wall changing, or you might just observe the change from the pressure. Now, if you have the space, start to try to lift your arms up, still pressing them into the wall. Breathe in. It doesn't have to be a very firm press, just that point of contact and the desire to keep it can feel rather effortful or interesting. You don't have to go all the way up, but you can if your arms can go all the way up. Take a breath in. And press back through the backs of your hands wherever they are on your exhale. We'll stay lifted, but here, try to gently draw your low ribs back. So sometimes the belly pulls away from the wall. Hug it back. Breathe in. And with your exhale, slowly release down. Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. Set your mind to whatever it was that got you to your mat, to yoga, to practice, to this community today. If there's something that you were looking for in your body or mind to amplify, call it consciously in. It can be as simple as, I am present. Or I am in community. And take a breath in. Exhale through the mouth. You're welcome to stay upright in this seated posture. If you're ready to move, we'll come forward into table, hands and knees. And there might be an adjustment coming away from the wall. So give yourself a moment. And shift your props around as you need. In your table, you can be on fists or flat palms or even forearms on blocks, but start to take your hips in a big circle. As your hips move in a circle, become aware of all of the places where the legs attach to the pelvis, where the torso attaches to the pelvis. All the ways that one movement pulls at the strings of the rest of you. You can take 3 or 5 circles in one direction, but do give a couple of circles also in the other direction. And let your breath come in. And your breath go out. When you feel balanced in your circles, press down through your hands. Fill your back line up. And press down through the tops of your feet. Press down so much through the tops of your feet that maybe you can lift your right knee. Take a breath in. Still pressing into the tops of the feet, set the right knee down. Breathe in. With your exhale, press into the tops of the feet, lift the left knee. Maybe half an inch, maybe less than half an inch. Set the left knee down. Take a deep breath in. Press into the tops of the feet, float the right knee. Release the right knee, take a breath in. On your exhale, float the left knee. Now you can keep going with alternating, or you can press through the tops of the feet, press through the fists or palms, and try to float both knees up. If that's too much on an ankle injury, you can do it with your toes curled under. That also works. I just talked it out with the tops of the feet because it gets a particular engagement. But either way works. Breathe in. On an exhale, you'll slowly let your knees come down. You can bring your big toes together, take your knees out a little wider, and shift your hips back for child's pose, taking a moment to feel integration.
Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. In your child's pose, press into your fingertips and see if you can float your elbows up with your fingertips rooted down. Then once you have that sense of lift, gently roll the shoulder blades back. You can stay here because this little micro activation can be quite strong. Or you can start to creep your fingers forward until your hips stack over your knees. Let me move my extra cushions around. So you would end up in puppy pose, either with tented fingers, or if that feels like too much in the shoulders, you can flatten your palms. Now I know that there are some shoulder sensitivities in this class, so you're welcome to put something underneath your chest to add extra height so that you're not trying to bring your chest all the way to the floor. That can be a bolster or a block. If you have your fingers out and tented, really take care to keep your palms or your fingertips, or however you're conceptualizing that lift of your hands. Keep a sense of activation there. So the fingertips press down so the palm can tent up. Breathe in. You're welcome to stay longer, but when you're ready to move, let your elbows come down, shift your hips forward and down towards the floor. Now, if you need something underneath your pelvis like a blanket, you can go ahead and grab that, but we're setting up Sphinx pose. So, belly down, back bends. Give yourself whatever space you need and whatever support you need. But separate your hands out to shoulder width distance. Anchor the elbows down. And take a deep breath in. With your exhale, try to gently lift your belly off the floor so there's a sense of hugging in. You can stay there, or keeping that sense of hugging in, hug your elbows in, press through the palms, and try to lift your elbows off the ground. Breathe in. With your exhale, still drawing subtly in through the low belly, slowly lower the elbows back down. So we'll do this twice more and we'll add some layers. Can everybody see me all right? Okay. So take a deep breath in first. Everything expands and softens with the inhale. With your exhale, gently tilt your pubic bone down and you can hug your belly up just enough that it lifts off the ground, or you feel it try to lift. With your next inhale, keep that sense of lift. Press into your palms, wrapping the elbows in, and you might start to extend your arms. Breathe in. With your exhale, still hugging in through the elbows, slowly set them back down. Once the elbows touch down and you're taking an inhale, release everything so that the inhale supports as you expand. And with your exhale, tilt your pubic bone gently down. Use the emptiness of the exhale to gently lift the belly off the ground. Press into your palms with your inhale. Slowly extend the arms. Breathe in again. With your exhale, keep that sense of drawing in. Hug in through the elbows, hug in through the low belly, and come slowly down. You can take one more on your own. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breath in. And
breath out. When you come down this time, take your elbows out to the side and we'll pause for just a moment. Chest down. If it feels better to have your hands under your forehead, you can take crocodile variation with the forearms acting as a resting post for your forehead. There are two different ways that folks prefer to release the back. You can simply shimmy the hips from side to side, or if you prefer, you can wag your feet from side to side, like windshield wipers. All right. When you feel complete, release the legs long. Extend the right arm out to the side, but tent your fingers. Oftentimes we do this and the palm is pressing down and the elbow locks down to the floor. So here we're going to integrate differently. Press into your fingertips and maybe the palm lifts up. Even if it doesn't, you still want to find a sense of real strong activation into your right hand, whether it's flat on the floor or tented fingers. Bring your left hand over towards your right chest shoulder junction and just scoop any tissue out of the way so that your upper arm can come down towards the floor, almost like you're turning from the right shoulder down to the floor. And you can stay here, or you can lift the left knee and hug it in towards your chest. It's not going to get all the way towards your chest, but lifting the knee in line with the hip, let's say, might help you find a little bit more active stretch through the shoulder. Take a breath in, pressing through the right fingertips. Find some gentle engagement in your neck so that your neck is supporting itself and lifting up rather than dropping down. Take another breath in, reach the back of your head back as if there was a wall where your head could reach. Right. And then we'll release down. Take a deep breath in. Legs extend, hands can come back under your forehead. Maybe you rock your head from side to side. Guide your elbows back underneath your shoulders before we switch sides on the arms. We'll do one more bit of shoulder love here. Press down into your elbows. Take a deep breath in, lifting your chest up and rolling the shoulders back. With your exhale, tilt your pubic bone down and use that tilt to hug up through the belly. You'll bend your right knee. You can let the left hand cross your body for support. Your right hand will come and catch your right foot. We'll start with the hand on the outside edge of the foot. Press the foot into the hands. And breathe in. And your quad might have something to say about it. That's good. We're saying hi to the legs. On an exhale, bring the heel towards your bum. Now, if it's possible for you, bring your hand to the inside edge of your right foot. Press your foot into your hand and let that press help open your chest. Now you can stay here, or if you have the space, you can extend the left arm up. Breathe in. If it's too much in your back, you just set the left elbow back down to the floor, no problem. Take one more inhale. And with your exhale, release the right leg. Bring the right hand down in front. Before we come down, we'll do our core action one last time. Inhale to lift your chest up. Exhale, tilt your pubic bone down. You can anchor through the tops of the feet, but gently draw the belly up. On your inhale, extend through both arms, still hugging in through the belly. And with your exhale, let your elbows slowly come down and out to the side. Resting with your forehead on your forearms, you can shimmy in the hips. or windshield wiper the feet. I'll switch sides so that I can do this with you and y'all can see. For the second side, you'll extend the left arm out to the side. And if you're still windshield wipering or shimming in the hips, let that come to completion first. You'll tent your left fingers, pause for a deep breath in, press into your left hand. You can press into your right hand. Another way to set this up is to press into your right hand. Use the press of your right hand to help turn the left side of your chest over to the right so your left shoulder or chest-shoulder junction can come down. Now, if you're prone to locking out your elbows and you can feel yourself doing that, as you tent your fingers, try to keep a micro bend or a slight bend through the left elbow so there's a sense of engagement. You can stay here or bring the right knee up in line with your right hip. Still pressing strongly through the left fingertips, there's a sense of integration. The head stays active. You can draw your head back. Now you might notice that it feels very different here. There might be something different going on in the head and the neck, in the shoulders. Breathe in. And breathe out. We'll take 2 more breaths. One more inhale. And with your exhale, send the right leg back first. Let yourself roll back onto your belly. Take a deep breath in neutral. And a full breath out. Guide your elbows underneath your shoulders again. One more time. And here we are setting up from Sphinx. You'll press down into both hands. Take a deep breath in. With your exhale, tilt your pubic bone down, hug up through the belly, and you'll bend the left knee. You'll reach back with your left hand from the outside edge of your foot first. Press your foot into your hand so you're starting to say hello to the quad, saying hello to the left leg. Take a deep and full breath in. And with your exhale, bring your heel towards your bum. You'll bring your left hand to the inside edge of your left foot when you're ready to shift this into your left shoulder or chest-shoulder junction. Press your foot into your hand, sending the foot back again. You can stay here or extend the right arm if that works for you. If it's too much, don't do it. Finding the layer that feels appropriate right now. Let your breath come in. And out. You'll release and bring your elbows down underneath your forehead or forearms under forehead. Give your hips a shimmy. And take a deep breath in. And a full breath out. Guide your hands underneath your shoulders. Come up into table, hands and knees. We'll take a revisiting or a reprise of our table variation. So hands under shoulders, press through the tops of the feet, press through the fists, and you'll lift your knees up. Take a breath in. And with your exhale, set the knees down. All right. Plant your palms or fists. Curl your toes under behind you. Take a deep breath in, looking forward. With your exhale, you'll curl the toes under, pick up the knees, and walk your hands back towards your feet. Towards the back of your mat. Let your elbows come onto your thighs or your hands press into your shins and reach your chest forward as you inhale. And with your exhale, pause, bend your knees, really land the elbows onto the thighs and give yourself a moment in this active ski jumper squat. Now your bum is shifting back. Hug a little in through the belly, and maybe there's a way to hover the elbows. But if you're feeling pressure in your back, just set the elbows back down. And you can use the press of the elbows into the thighs to find integration in a way that doesn't compromise the integrity of the low spine. Take a breath in and a breath out. We'll stay here for 3 breaths. You can play with shifting one hip back and then the other and noticing what turns on as you do that, or if there's more resistance in one direction than the other. Breathe in and breathe out. Press down into your feet. Keep your back nice and strong and slowly stand up. Release your hands down by your side. Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. Awesome. Deep and full breath in. Deep and full breath out. On an inhale, sweep your arms out and up if you have the space, or straight up if you don't. Once your arms are overhead, hook your thumbs, press your elbows into one another, and let the thumbs gently bend out, or the elbows gently bend out to the side. Deep breath in. And full breath out. Softly bend in the knees. So if you're locking, the soft bend is just to prevent the locking out. Stack your hips over your heels, and you'll reach your arms over to the right. Keeping the hook of your thumbs, breathe in and breathe out. And back up to center, pause. Switch the hook of your thumbs as you exhale. Deep and full breath in. Soften in the knees if they've crept towards locking, and you'll start to send your arms over to the second side. And it might just be that this emphasizes the armpit. It might come down into your side ribs. It can range quite a bit. Let your breath come in and your breath go out. One more deep inhale. And back up to center as you exhale. Release the hands. Take a breath in. And with your exhale, let the palms come together at the center of your body, center chest. Take your mind to whatever it was that got you onto your mat. Reconnect to it. Breathe in. And breathe out. All right. Now, if you have access to a wall, we're going to use it again. So come right up against the wall, and you'll let your right hip come into the wall. For a moment, you can bring your hands in front of you and see that to the best of your ability, your weight's relatively even in your feet. It'll be tricky because the hip's at the wall, so just do your best. Take a breath in. I'm gonna step forward so I have more space. You'll bring your right knee up and press the right knee into the wall. So the right hip is at the wall and the right knee is now pressing into the wall. From the press of your right knee, if you need more support, you can softly bend in the left knee, but turn your upper body to the right, and you can take cactus arms or tense your fingertips and walk your arms out wide. Take a deep breath in. Wherever you are, press your fingertips into the wall. Roll your shoulders back. Maybe you look to the right. A deep breath in. And full breath out. And breath in. And breath out. And so come off the wall when it's time. Take your right arm up. And bring your left hand down. Once your right hand meets your right knee, set the right foot down and pause. You can walk your feet a little farther away from the wall. Take a breath in and a breath out. And we'll switch sides. Keep it simple today. So turn, bring your left leg close to the wall, your right foot at hips width distance underneath your right hip. Bring your hands up so that you can feel centered hips without your shoulder pushing into the wall. And breathe in. On an exhale, softly bend both knees. You can use your elbow on the wall for support, but bring the left knee up. Now you might experience a sort of sinking or sagging in your hips. Part of the reason for using the wall is to create some biofeedback. So your left knee, your left outer knee can press. Maybe it's your left outer foot, depending on what feels more in contact with the wall. And you might notice that your body gets different contacts on this side. That's okay. And try to keep a sense of activation of level hips and breathe in. When you feel ready, you'll turn your upper body towards the wall, maybe in cactus shape, maybe out into a T, up to you. And breathe in and breathe out. 3 breaths in whatever variation works for you. Still looking for that sense of activation, of strength. And breath in. And breath out. One more inhale. With your exhale, start to lift the left arm up to come out. Your right hand can come towards your right hip. Left hand will drop to your knee, and then your left leg drops down. Separate your feet out to hips with distance. And pause for a moment, just noticing if there's some asymmetry in the activation. You can wiggle out through the body or just be very still and feel. Breathe in. And breathe out. All right. Breath in. And breath out. On an inhale, you'll sweep your arms up and overhead. With your exhale, bend in your knees. Shift your hips back and slowly fold forward from your hips. Once your hands come towards the floor, bend your knees enough that they can comfortably reach. Lengthen your spine as you inhale and let your hands start to walk forward. With your exhale, continue the walk forward until your hands come into down dog. And if there's a reason to skip down dog today, you just set your knees down for table. From down dog, you can pedal out your knees, bending one knee and then the other. Saying hello to tight spaces, tight places. Saying hello to places that just say hi back. Take a breath in. On your next exhale, come forward, slowly set the knees down to the floor. All right, walk your hands so that they're underneath your shoulders. It can be fists or flat palms. Take a deep breath in. Press through. This time, curl the toes under, press through the hands, keep the left knee rooted, and you'll slowly extend the right leg back. Pause, breathe in. With your exhale, keep pressing through the hands, gently tap the right knee down. We'll do this with the other side. Breath in. Keep pressing through the ball of your right foot, your hands. Extend the left leg back. The toes can tap the floor. On an exhale, slowly tap the left knee down. This time, take a breath in. Keep the left toes curled under for support. Press through the hands, and you'll extend the right leg back, but step the right foot behind the left knee. Now you can swivel the left knee, or swivel the left foot, I should say, behind you. Press through the top of your left foot, press through the right foot, and lift your right arm up. Now, if you come into side plank and you're kind of sinking, it's a good idea, or it can be a good idea, to add height underneath your left arm so that your chest can actually have the feeling of lifting up. So if you feel like you're sinking in your left hip crease, or that your body is rotating towards the floor, give yourself an extra sense of lift. Breathe in and breathe out. Okay. Keep your right arm lifted. Take a deep breath in. And with your exhale, bend your right elbow, draw it back in space. Yeah, so the angle is as if your elbow were trying to come against your side body. We're trying to integrate some of the muscles of the shoulder. So inhale your right arm up. We'll do it again. Exhale the right elbow down towards the side body. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale the right elbow down towards your side body. Lift your right arm up this time. Take a deep breath in. And with your exhale, hug in through your side ribs. Press through the right foot and stand up on your left knee and your right foot. Ooh. If you get a cramp, you can roll it out like you do. It happens. So take a moment, especially if there's some tension in your hips, and you can play this little seesaw game, turning the toes so that they point forward in the direction your body's facing, and then turning the toes up towards the ceiling, and letting the hips sort of swivel as you go. It's a nice way to relieve the pressure, if there's any that's built up. Breathe in. And breathe out. We'll try our side bend in two ways. So turn the right toes up, since we're here. Press down strongly through the right heel. And then, from the press of your right heel, try to lift and level off your hips. Okay. Take a deep breath in. And with your exhale, put your hands on your hip creases. So instead of lifting up and over, we'll lean to the right towards the extended leg, noticing if the hips try to drop as you lean. So the hands are on the hip points, the top of the pelvic bones, and you'll lean. If you feel your hip really sink, try to come back a bit. Yeah. Once you feel level hips, then take your left arm up and over. Breathe in. On an exhale, turn the right toes so that they come down towards the floor and point forward. And reach up and over with the left hand. Deep breath in. And a full breath out. Come back up. Notice if your hips have shifted. Try to level them off again. Breathe in. And breathe out. This time we'll start with the toes on the ground of the extended leg. So level off your hips again. You can place your hands on your hip points if that helps. Take a deep breath in. And with your exhale, just start to reach your chest to the right. Maybe you stay here. If you notice your hips are sinking, recommit to leveling them off. Stretch out through your toes. Maybe you can hinge a little more at your side waist. Stay here or reach the left arm up and over. Take a deep breath in. Try to feel your contact into the right heel and turn the right toes up. Breathe in and out. This time as you inhale, come up enough to stack the shoulders over the hips, but we'll turn the whole body on the exhale over to the right for half split. And bring your hands either to the floor or to blocks. Over to the right, the extended leg. Unexpected plot twist.
Limited space.
If you have to shift because of space, that makes sense. But turn the right toes up, press down through the right heel, and try to level off your hips again. There's a tendency here for one hip to sort of swivel forward or down. Pause, breathe in. Keep the left hand down, bring your right hand to your right hip. So this might feel familiar from our wall thing a moment ago. Press down through the right heel and just start to look to the right. You can stay here, or if it feels okay, reach the right arm behind you. But it might feel like too much. That's okay. You can put your hand on the small of your back and just look right. That's plenty. Breathe in. And breathe out. One more inhale. And with your exhale, release your right hand down to the inside edge of your right foot. Walk your right foot out to the right edge of your mat. And let your hips come forward and down for a moment in a lizard lunge or a wide-legged lunge. So your hips come down, your chest gently lifts. Breathe in. And breathe out. Couple different ways to transition. You can press into your fists, flat palms or forearms, and start to walk the right foot wide until the right knee steps down. If you're feeling feisty, you can come back through plank and then set the knees down. Take a deep and full breath in. And with an exhale, round up through your back and pause. Keeping the back rounded, it might feel nice to shift ever so slightly the weight from one side to the other. When you're ready, you'll settle in to table with a neutral spine, hands and knees. Breathe in. Press through the hands, curl the toes under. This time, you'll extend the left leg back behind you. Spin the left heel behind the right knee. Press through the right foot. You can swivel it behind your back. Your right hand will root, your left arm will lift. Yep. So side plank, second side, and maybe it wasn't necessary on the first side, but maybe here you're finding that you're rotating down. So you can grab yourself a block or something and let your chest really have that sense of lift and openness. The left arm is high. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, bend the left elbow, try to hug it in towards your side. Reach up as you inhale. Exhale, hug it in. 2 more. Breathing in. And breathing out. Up. And down. This time as you reach up, pause, extend the left arm high. With your exhale, try to hug the right knee towards the left foot and come up. Awesome. Now if your hips need that swivel again, you can lift the toes and lower them. That's one way to accomplish this swiveling action in the hips. Since we played with it on the other side, we'll flip the left toes up, press through the left heel. Try to level off your hips by bringing your hands onto your hip points. And from here, take a deep breath in. And a full breath out. You can stay. If upright is hard enough to find, just stay. Or you can start to lean your upper body to the left. So as you're here, if you notice your hips sink, or if sometimes it torques more than sinks, so the left hip might slide back, try to keep level and just hinge at your side waist. Maybe you stay, maybe the right arm comes up and over. Take a deep breath in, pressing through the left heel. On an exhale, you can turn your left toes to point forward towards the floor, keeping your hips still level. Breathe in. Excuse me. Breathe out. And keep the left foot as it is. Come back to center. You can bring your hands right back to your hips. Sometimes they'll have shifted, so find center where the hip points point evenly forward. They're evenly forward and back and evenly up and down in space. Take a breath. You can stay with your hands low on your hips or reach the right arm back up. And take a deep breath in. Maybe you hinge from your side waist. Keeping the hips relatively level, but letting your side body shorten. Breathe in. And out. Here, take one more inhale. With your exhale, spin the left toes up, press down through the left heel so that the knee stays supported. Take a breath in. With your exhale, come to stack for a moment with the shoulders over the right knee. Then we'll turn the whole body to the left, so towards the extended leg. Now, if you need to look around for a prop, a block, or a bunch of blocks, you can get them. But your left toes will turn up. Your hands can be on a block. Level off your hips again. Take a deep breath in. And a full breath out. Left toes turn up. Maybe you stay right here. This can be quite a lot in the hamstrings. Maybe you root down through the right hand. Bring your left hand to your left hip. Looking first for level hips across the pelvis and up and down in space. Take a breath in. Use the breath in to lengthen your chest forward. And with your exhale, turn to the left. Keeping your hips as they are. Maybe the left arm reaches back, but if you notice that your whole body twists or something feels like too much, you just put your left hand back down. Breathe in and breathe out. Two more breaths. Last breath in. With your exhale, you can release both hands down to the inside edge of your left foot. Walk the left foot wide if it's not already there, and we'll find lizard. Allowing the hips to settle low. And take a breath in. And out. When it's time to transition out of this, you'll press into your hands. You can use your right toes for support. Guide your left knee beside your right. And for one last moment or two, give your hips a big circle and table. You can take either direction, multiple circles. Breathe in and out. When you feel complete with your circles, you'll knee walk your knees to your hands and sit back. Looking around for a bolster if you have it. You'll bring your bolster roughly over by your right side body. We're going to be setting up side lying Shavasana. You can actually take it on either side. There's some tradition here, but for the sake of what's comfortable and feasible in your space, set a bolster to whichever side makes the most sense for you to rest on, with blocks underneath it so that your top knee, when it rests, will come onto the bolster. Now, before we use this, you can hug your knees into your chest and just roll back. Give your body a gentle rock from side to side. We will be using this prop thing that we've just created, but first, give your low back one last release. You can take both knees over to the left if you have the space. Take a breath in and a breath out. Pass through center, take both knees over to the right. On whichever side this bolster setup is on, you'll pass through center, bring your knees in. Extend the leg where the bolster is. Take the opposite knee over the top. So for me, that's my left. And you'll set your left knee on the bolster. I forgot to grab something from my head. Well, you can roll up a blanket or a towel, set it underneath your head. Your right arm or your lower arm extends out or finds a sense of comfort. I'm taking side lying Shavasana today because it can feel like snuggling up with a pillow, precisely because that's what it is. Now, in your final rest, maybe you need an extra blanket, maybe you want to close your eyes or you can cover them. Let your body and mind find a sense of quiet release. And if the mind is active and the quiet release can't feel passive today, that's okay. If it feels like consciously bringing your awareness to breath or consciously reconnecting to that sense of purpose that got you here, that's okay. You let these last few moments be what you need them to be.
And take a deep breath in and a full breath out. In through the nose and then back out through the mouth. If you have space and time to stay here longer, please know that's always a welcome idea. Otherwise, you can bring your top hand to the bolster supports and just slide them out of the way, allowing your knees to come together. And you'll press down into your top hand to sit up.
And if you need to grab props to sit up comfortably, like a bolster or a block, you can always do that. And take a deep breath in. And a full breath out. Let your hands rest somewhere on your body as a way of saying, hi, I'm here, connecting to yourself. And feel your breath as it moves in. And feel your breath as it moves out. And as you're observing your breath for these last few moments, reconnect to that sense of purpose once more. Observing the feeling of it. Observing the nowness of it. Take your hands together at the center of your chest. Let your thumbs press into your body. Breathe in, getting tall. And with your exhale, give a gentle bow to yourself in acknowledgement of your practice. Take a breath in. With your next exhale, give a gentle bow to the community that you shared time with. May all beings be peaceful. Thank you all so much for sharing practice.